Okay, so this exciting installment is How Was Your Day, Bombshell? As you all know, Tuesday was my day off. As you all know, it was a jam-packed day. Um, I was trying to sleep in, but as usual, plans never work the way I plan. I ended up getting up early, which was something I didn't want to do, but oh well, so be it. Um, got up early, and my mom came, and we sat and talked while she hemmed the curtains because the curtains we had got in the kitchen, Grandpa had decided to play tailor to and just go right down to the bottom and go across because they were too long. So she had to sew up the jagged edges, if you will. And then I fixed her dinner, which she had one of my little spaghettis from Lean Cuisine, and I had a smashed potato. And Grandpa had, of course, his Meals on Wheels. And then we prepared for this day. I took a shower because last night's workout was extremely wonderful. Just going to say that before I show off the color art, which will be featured in the relationship advice, so you got to stay tuned for that. I finished it late last night. It was just like a last minute of zen, if you will. And then got to watch World News Now, which I honestly kept falling asleep. I don't know. It's like I'm going through this old fogey thing where I'm starting to fall asleep earlier and earlier. But I guess it's because of how hard I work out, and I'm pushing myself to do 9-pound weights. Hopefully I can get my 10 pounds soon, and that's my weight limit that I'm putting myself on, is lifting 10 pounds. So, but enough about that. Y'all are curious about how Grandpa's doctor's appointment went. Well, my mom had her own doctor's appointment today with Carl, and it turns out her appointment was actually yesterday, but they went ahead and did it today because they had some spare time. And they felt sorry for her because she drove up from Louisville, Illinois, and that's a little bit far away from Mattoon. So while she was busy doing her thing, I had Grandpa, which sometimes he can be quite cantankerous, you know. Um, he's not, the reason he doesn't like wearing the mask is it cuts off his breathing. Okay? It's not anything political, so before anybody starts going, oh, yay, no. It's a breathing issue. And honestly, at his age, he feels strongly about not wearing one. So the nurse came out after I came in and parked the car, which is my SUV. And they said, well, you guys go home. We'll call the doctor, or we'll tell the doctor that we're going to do a visit by phone. Kind of disappointing, but one good thing came from that. Something had told me to write my questions and concerns out on a piece of paper, and that way I was going to be prepared, to go in and actually voice my concerns. And I gave it to Debbie, the nurse. She went back, talked to the doctor, and of course, it took us about 30 minutes to get home, which was ironic because my mom's test had just finished, so she was walking through the door after we had finished check-in process, talking to the nurse, and the doctor was coming on the line. Of course, the doctor was disappointed because she wanted to run lab tests today, but they're going to wait 4 months, and then they're going to run lab tests then, which they hope will be a different world than what we have now. We'll just have to wait and see on that. Anyway, back to what I was saying. We found out a few things today during the question and answer process, as well as the questions and concerns Grandpa came up with. The doctor said that he's pre-diabetic, which this finally gives me a link towards my PCOS, because I was looking and searching for that link towards my PCOS. And, my mom kept going, well, all I had was cysts. Well, hello, that's part of PCOS, But yet she would say, but I didn't have it. And, to be with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and I have heard myself before, my weight loss, okay, you got to watch what you eat because you're pre-diabetic. But nobody could put the dots together. And so today I think we finally were able to pinpoint the dots. But that's the good news on my part. The bad news on his part is that he's pre-diabetic, which means he's got to limit himself now from his donut donuts, which he loves so dearly, his Oreos, his RCs. Yeah, even his RCs has got to be one a day. if that. She would like to see him like one every other day, which that ain't going to happen. But tonight, to surprise him in the morning, I'm going to make coffee. So he'll have a different beverage of choice. That part I think is good for him, because she actually encouraged coffee, which ironically Dr. Michael discouraged coffee. So it's, I don't know. We're going to get some coffee ready for him. He'll have it tomorrow to drink. Other than that, what can I tell you? Okay. So we all, like the 10 questions I had pointed out, the very first one was the mask. And she goes, well, there is an N95, but the N95 fits to your face, and it really wouldn't give him what he's looking for. So I mentioned that I had found in my Healthy Living book that I get for some reason, that they have this Mission Gaiter where you can pull it up, and it's kind of like a scarf deal, but it says it's easier to breathe, and she was all for that. So tonight on eBay, I did order him one of those on Side Note. Hopefully he'll wear it. Not sure, but I hope so. Which, by the way, I did not know that this Mission company makes cooling hats, cooling headbands. Heck, if I knew that, I would have had no problem being out there mowing that by push mower. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's a side note. Back to what I was saying. So the doctor then went down one by one on my questions, and, we had a concern about him not being quite as active as he usually is, and he's doing more word finds and doing solitaire, and she's like, hey, for 97, that's great. Only thing I request is that he gets up a couple times a day and walks back and forth, which Grandpa said he does, but honestly, he needs to have more exercise so that he would not do the heat so much. Of course, he's got some heart issues, and she pointed that out. And so, but the nice thing is, she said, there's really nothing I can do with making him turn the heat on at nighttime. However, I suggest maybe an extra blanket. I said, oh, we could do that. Of course, he disagreed with that. Everything that I kind of agreed with today, he was like, no. So, after going back and forth several times, and I do mean several times, it was just disheartening, and I'm just like going, well, we can only do so much. And she's like, well, I can't really check his blood pressure without checking his blood pressure or having someone there to take it. So that part was, not good. And then she said, we're just going to have to play it by ear for 4 months and just hope everything goes well for 4 months. That kind of made me feel uneasy. Knowing that we're not going to go back until November makes me definitely feel uneasy. I just hope and pray that things go well by then. I don't know if y'all seen today, but we have these crazy butt storms out here. I mean, 1 minute it's like storming, the next minute it clears up, the next minute it's storming. All in all, Grandpa's doctor appointment went A-okay, but like I said, he's now pre-diabetic. That's one thing that she kept pushing. She didn't want to have to put him on diabetic medicine, so we have to watch that really strongly. Have to force most of the water really strongly, and so it's so funny because when they're telling him water, I'm like going, okay, Donna, that means more water for you too. So now I'm making sure that I have my bottle of water handy when I'm not drinking tea. Even if I do drink unsweet tea, I better have a bottle of water handy or a glass of water handy. So, just the little things you pick up. So the funny part of it is, we learned a lot today with that doctor's visit. I felt like it was very informative because of how laid out and structured my questions were. And I told her about the wreck, and I was concerned about if he may have any effects from that. And she's like, if he was the first one out telling the guy the right act, then I think that he's just fine. She kind of giggled on that, so she didn't think that we had any problems there. So that was reassuring. And just little odds and ends that I had picked out, and she was really informative on, and I was glad to get answers to that I felt like I needed the answers to. So thank you, Doc. Back to my other question. You ready for this? How was the rest of the day? We went to Goodwill. Mom, me, and Grandpa. I found the cutest little southern bear. Got that. Got some doilies for the front room because I felt like it was time to change the doilies around a little bit. I should have got more doilies. Had I realized now that I needed about 2 more doilies, I probably would have got 2 more doilies. But it is what it is. Then decided that it was time to look at tank tops and sleepwear because I'm running short on those again. Some of them, they do grow old. They're like all of us, We grow old. The only difference is, the way we put ourselves out to pasture, so to speak. So anyway, got some new little crop pants for nighttime and tank tops for workout and nighttime, so that was a good thing. Miss Wanda came at 9 o'clock at night and picked up her books. So thrilled. They are now out of my SUV, and her 3 goodie bags are out of my SUV. Hallelujah, praise the Lord. But other than that, we went to County Market, me and Grandpa, and I just knew that this big storm was coming, so I had to hurry up. And there was not really much to report there, except I had a couple of rude shoppers, but it is what it is. And got what I needed for now, and the funny part of it was I found these 2 bags of sugar-free Werther's Original Candy for Grandpa for $1. And I got those not thinking he would like them. And he goes, why didn't you get more of these? I'm thinking because you would have threw a fit, And he was like, he really liked those. So he was talking about maybe going back there tomorrow. So we may do that. So that's reassuring. I'd like to go back there tomorrow anyway to see if they had some more. I'm falling in love with baby goldfish from Petridge Farm. Kid you not. It's like the most amazing little snack. You can have like 89 of those little baby fish and still be like 140 calories. It's totally maddening. It's wonderful. I also love dry unsalted peanuts, but I'm an elephant. What do you expect? Anyway, after that, it was pretty reassuring. It started, really clouding up at that time. So I said, we got to hurry over to Arby's, which by that time it cut loose because here's, the line of cars. And by the time we got through there, the little girl was even like, did I tell you that my car was in a wreck? I'm like, no. And she goes, yeah. But she goes, mine was here. It was parked and one of the coworkers just didn't see it and ran into it. She goes, it's a little fender bender compared to yours. I said, yeah, mine took 10 days to fix. She goes, mine took only a couple, but she goes, they do great work down there at Porter's. I said, yes, they do. So again, Porter's, you got a wonderful sparkling apply there. So good pat on the back. Okay. So with that being said, that's all of today's wonderful features I have for you, amazingly enough. So what I'm going to do is do your relationship advice so I can go boogie in the front room. I probably won't do a long workout tonight because I work the next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 5 days. So, and I don't have my schedule yet for next week until tomorrow, so that's going to be entertaining in itself because I'm anxious to see what that next following week will look like. So, you'll just have to stay tuned. I try to plan accordingly, but sometimes life is, you can't always plan it. But I try to, down to the last detail. But sometimes you can't. Where did I put my new little Southern Bear? In the front room, because I'm like, oh my gosh, it just belongs in the front room. It's too adorable. And that's where we'll go with that. I'll see you next for the relationship advice. Stay tuned.